I grew up Catholic, and I was baptized as a baby, and eventually actually became an altar boy until about middle school, maybe a little bit before, when I was pretty much just bored right out of the church. From there, church had almost no presence in my life. Now, fast forward to 1996. Stone Temple Pilots on the radio, Nirvana. You remember the scene if you were there. My buddy Nick, together we were Nick and Nick, or the Nicks. My buddy Nick in the morning invites me to a party at his house. This party, he says, is a must go. I've got to be there. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I be down for a party? So that was kind of my thing, and so I committed. Now, a little bit later on in the day, Nick approaches me, maybe around lunchtime, and says, hey, I want to just let you know, it's just a guy's night tonight, so I hope you're ready for that. I was a little bummed out, but whatever. Commitment holds, I'm still gonna go. Hey, also, just one other thing for tonight, it's gonna be kind of a clean night. We're gonna behave. It's a guy's night with my youth group. And I'm like, I'm out. Forget it, right? So he's like, you told me, you're in, you promised. So, okay, fine, whatever. So the night goes on, I end up going to Nick's house, and the first thing I see is in his backyard, there's two guys boxing, like boxing gloves, right? Guys that I went to school with. And I thought that was pretty cool. There's pizza, there's chips, there's soda, right? This is a lot different than a Catholic youth group. Now, the night carries on. The sky was starting to get light, but it wasn't quite sunrise yet. And everyone has pretty much dropped off into sleep, but a few of us were still up talking. And we started hearing some noises out front. So peek out the window, and we're getting teepeed. So I go wake up some people. I wake up Nick, and we rush outside, and it was almost like time slowed down. Because what we didn't know was that the girls of the youth group were having their own night, and they had actually set alarms cleverly to teepee us around 4 or 5 in the morning, just before the sun was going up, banking on the fact that we would be up all night, but would probably be asleep by this point. Well, they were wrong, and we rushed out there, and I remember seeing all the different girls that go to this church, and I turned to my buddy Nick and said, dude, I'm going to your church. Hi, my name's Nick, and I lead the education pillar of the Ironman Ministries. And this is my testimony.
So girls brought you to church. What brought you to God?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So I would say that ever since I was very young, I had this nagging sense that there was always more going on. I mentioned that I grew up going to Catholic church, and I always did keep that in mind. But when I was growing up, I was big time into the X-Files. I actually had a poster on my wall in my room that I almost forgot about until we were putting this testimony together. And I remember it had one of the 3 major X-Files catchphrases. It either said, I want to believe, or the truth is out there, or trust no one. And that was just me to the core, because I always felt there was more going on than what we could see. I loved Indiana Jones, uncovering fanciful archaeological mysteries. So as life continues and I'm trying to solve these mysteries, I find myself interested in things in New Age, in crystals and gemstones that supposedly had magical properties, Ouija boards. I got a little creeped out by that, to be honest. And so I started building this framework of what to believe and what was true, kind of like a patchwork quilt of ideas and theologies and doctrines from all these different world religions and mystery religions. About 2-3 months after my buddy Nick's party, when I'm going to church, the pastor's giving a sermon, and he asks one question, and it's so simple, it could be on a bumper sticker. Maybe it is. He asks, if you were to die today, where would you go? And that question stopped me in my tracks. I had been living a life where I could pick and choose what I wanted to believe. I had been living a life where I sat on the throne in my heart and I was in control. And all of a sudden, there was something I couldn't control, where I went if I died. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. You see, my life had been going perfectly fine, and there wasn't a big need in my 17-year-old headspace to come to Christ. I had good grades. I was playing varsity sports. My parents were together. We had a great family relationship. And I had nothing to complain about. There was no traumatic cry out to God or anything like that. So I was at risk of gaining the world but losing my soul because my pride had closed my eyes to what was really true. But God used my interest and love for solving mysteries and solving life's riddles to draw me in and solve this riddle of what is true.
Is that why you wanted to lead the education department?
Yes. My interest in education is that this is one of the most important mysteries that we can solve. Why do we love a mystery? Why do we love riddles? It's because we want to go through the process of uncovering the truth. And when I found Christ, I felt like I had uncovered the answer to one of life's most important mysteries. And the great thing about Christianity is you don't have to solve this riddle on your own. Other Christians get to come alongside and help and instruct and teach. My passion for education is to help people answer these questions, to help people engage in the exciting process of uncovering the mysteries of the Bible, the riddles of the Bible, and they're so easy to solve, and God wants to join us in this process and lead us back to Him so that we can enjoy living in a truthful biblical worldview.
Get me all fired up, man.
I'm getting fired up too. I need to stand up. So the answer to life's greatest mystery hangs on how you answer this question. If you were to die today, where would you go?